Support for this episode comes from Modern Football Technology. Modern Football Technology provides real-time opponent tendencies and self-scout while eliminating manual data entry into Huddle, DV Sport, and Exos. If you're tired of tools that are time-consuming to learn and perform inconsistently at best, then we recommend Modern Football for a fresh perspective. Schedule a demo today at teammofo.com to see a battle-tested tool that's proven to perform and deliver value. Mention Coach and Coordinator Podcast or use the coupon code CC10 to receive 10% off your first year. And listen to our recent episode featuring Folsom High School defensive coordinator Jordan Ersick to learn more about how the 2023 California State Champion uses modern football to dominate their opponents. On today's episode, which is the last in a series that we shared over the last month, we focus on coaching innovations that help your players and you coach on the field. While I was at AFCA, I walked around and took a look at some of the most innovative products in the market. I identified a dozen or so that I feel helped make a coach more efficient, enhance player development, and ultimately add to the win column. I want to note that none of these companies paid to be on the podcast. This was purely my research and time spent with them to learn more about what they do. Some of these you may have heard of and some are brand new to the market, but all are innovative in their approach to helping you as a coach. All of the companies were asked 4 questions, as you will hear. 1, how does this make me more efficient as a coach? 2, how does this help me develop my players? 3, how does this help us win? And 4, what's the features that coaches like the most? The objective is that you get a feel for these companies and what they can do for you as a coach as well as your players to help create a better game. Our first product is GoRoute. You may have heard me talk about GoRoute before on this podcast, and the founder and CEO, Mike Rowley, has been a guest. GoRoute allows you to run a more efficient practice, and it has been used to help run installs, 7-on-7s, and a number of different purposes, as Mike will share. This is a product that's been adopted at the high school, college, and pro levels. Well, I've known Mike for a long time here and was excited when this product came out in 2015. I learned about it. You showed me what it was going to be able to do. Brought it to the market in 2017, and along the way certainly has evolved to this point where it is now, which is something that really helps teams be efficient with practices. So, Mike, tell our listeners a little bit about where GoRoute is right now, and I think most of the people have heard about it by now, but tell us about GoRoute.
Yeah, so what we do is we really focus on maximizing efficiency for coaches and players at practice, right? We're all about visual instant communication, allowing coaches to get play diagrams, coaching notes, information to the players in practice as fast as possible. And what this does is it allows the players to do a couple of things. One, it doesn't require them to come back and look at a card, so they're not looking at a card after a minute, they go to the line of scrimmage and they forget what they were looking at, right? They've got an instant visual reference right on their belt. It allows them to understand more deeply how they're supposed to run their play because they're getting a coaching tip and an insight from the device as well. But then the third thing is that it allows coaches and players to get the most out of their time. It allows them to maximize a valuable part of their week, which is the preparation. Right? Is that for every rep that you're running holding a card, I can run 3 reps using my system. Well, if I'm getting 3 reps and you're only getting 1, when it comes to Friday or Saturday night, who's more prepared? Right? And that's really what we do. We maximize the efficiency and the preparedness of teams so they have a better chance at winning on Friday nights.
Yeah, and that's ultimately what coaches want when they spend money on a product, on a piece of technology. Is it's got to translate to wins.
Right.
In looking at some of your power users, what are the features that they've liked best about this?
Well, one of the things I like best is it's simple. Right? And I think that's a huge feature, right? With any technology, everybody always asks, well, is it going to add more work to my day? Right? And for us, we don't. The best feature we provide is simplicity. You turn our devices on, they connect to our network across the country, no matter where you are, instantly, and you can get up and run a practice. So you can be in the middle of a cornfield in Nebraska or in the middle of downtown Chicago, and your experience will be the exact same. So there's a consistency and a reliability to that, which is a great feature for any product that you're going to buy. especially for football coaches when they don't want to have to spend a bunch of time being technicians and setting up routers and trying to worry about networks, right? Another great feature is we just are launching an instant drawing tool on the field, so now coaches can live edit the card and then send in a new card, nice. And then they can make adjustments. And we also are offering instant voice to text, so now a coach can send a message directly to a player and it'll pop up on his device as a display as part of his play instantly on the field. So now we're providing them even more ways to communicate and even more ways to connect. But like in terms of usage, right? I mean, outside of the low-hanging fruit, scout team, right, offense and defense, special teams, youth camps, passing leagues, 7-on-7, skelly periods, freshman installs, the fall work, right? When you're bringing in incoming freshmen and you're trying to get them to learn your playbook, practice, captain's practices. But then another one that we get a lot of use out of are specials. Kickoff return, those 6 to 8 minute periods in practice that everybody wants to just rush through that end up costing you a game because somebody didn't stay in their lane, right? We allow them to maximize that time more than any card and speaker system will allow you to do while you're standing 70 yards away telling a coach or a player, all right, we're going to run this one, we're going to do this one.
Well, I've used the product back in the early days, and can say what a time saver it was. But since then, the things that you've added to this, the innovations, what has become now even better. So for our listeners, what's the best way for them to reach out and learn more?
Yeah, they can always contact us at our website, which is goroute.com, GOROUT.com. They can find us on Twitter at @go_route. Those are the two best places to connect with us, and we're always walking around AFCA, so if you see somebody wearing a Go Route shirt, they can give you a QR code, and then they take you right to our page, and you can learn everything you need to know.
Mike, thanks for taking the time and telling us about your product.
Thanks, Keith. Yep.
I've talked on the podcast about the importance of calibrating the passing game, and as a coach, the tool I used was a stopwatch. The idea was to give the quarterback feedback on how long he was taking to release the ball. That was a daily process in both practice and game film evaluation, and had to be done by hand, timing each rep and recording the results. The 4-second football makes that workflow much easier and provides the quarterback and coach feedback in practice. Here's my quick interview with Joe Hamilton, creator of the 4-second football.
Well, 4-second football, I think, is a very interesting application in using technology and coaching. I talk all the time on a podcast about calibrating the passing game, how important it is for a quarterback to move his eyes and feet. And through the progression, I always did it with a stopwatch, but now there's a tool that's going to be more accurate than that, and it's the 4-second football. So, Joe, tell us a little bit about what this product is.
Yeah, the 4-second football is the first football that has automated the throwing game for quarterbacks and coaches. The same way we progressed from the 40-yard dash with stopwatch, we've now done that with our football that can automate and track how long your quarterback holds the ball. And then you get so many benefits from this, such as tracking data. And we can export that to coaches, instantaneously.
Yeah, and this is important for the passing game, one, because everything calibrates a certain way. And if the ball's not thrown on time, it's going the other way or being broken up. And obviously, if your guy's holding it too long, I had a defensive coordinator of mine always used to say the quarterback can't pass if he's on his ass. So You want them to develop this internal clock, and that's exactly what this tool does for you.
100%. Yeah, it definitely builds an internal clock in your quarterback's head because a buzzer goes off if they don't get the ball out of their hand in time.
Right. And so for a coach, adding to our workflow, that's always a difficult thing. But how does this make me more efficient as a quarterback coach or as an offensive coordinator?
Well, as a quarterback coach, now you can assess your personnel. If your quarterback is holding the ball too long, well, now you can tell him, hey, you got to make a quicker decision. Or if the buzzer goes off, you can tell him you need to hit the check down, you need to run for what you can, or throw the ball out of bounds. Right now, you can build release patterns, right, for your quarterback. So, plan Bs. If this happens, now I need to go. But eventually, over time, he'll adjust. A quarterback will adjust to the timer, right? So that's the biggest benefit. Also, we collect data and analytics. So now a coach that loves analytics can now go back and see progression of his player from week to week and month to month. So it's a true progression and player development tool. That's the biggest benefit to a coach. And lastly, a coach can also scheme around his football. If he has a defense that he's playing this week that has an aggressive pass rush and they like to blitz 40% of the time, well, now you can adjust and say, hey, we need to train to 2.5 seconds this week, and we might need to bring in extra blockers to make sure our quarterback gets that 2.5 seconds, because this can simulate pressure.
Well, you've talked a little bit here about how it develops the players and how it helps you win, and ultimately that's what this is about for coaches, the development. And a tool is great, but if you're spending money on it, what's my ROI? It's not going to be in dollars and cents. It's going to be in the win. So how does this help me win as a coach?
So the way it can, I'll say it like this: it can help you win as a coach. The biggest benefit is that it should help your quarterback play better, which your quarterback should then help your offense perform better. And if your offense performs better, your team then gives a better chance to win games, right? We have some statistics. I'm not sure if it'll be in the shot, but we have statistics of top NFL quarterbacks and their metrics when they get the ball away in under 2.5 seconds versus over 2.5 seconds. And the names we have, these are all winners. Right? Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers.
Know those guys.
Right. Know those guys. So if your quarterback's trained to the standard and offense is about timing, this should help your team win more games.
And how do our listeners find out more about 4-Second Football?
They can follow us on all social media at 4Second Football, or they can go to our website, 4secondfootball.com, and they can reach out by email at info@4secondfootball.com.
And I know coaches could see we're holding a version here. This one is not the real leather, but those are on the way.
Yeah, literally, we'll have them at our office in Atlanta on Wednesday, our real leather footballs. So, yeah.
Well, thanks for taking the time. I love what you guys have done here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for coming by.
We are always on the lookout for tools and technology that can help create a better game. If there's any that you love, please let me know. DM me on Twitter at Coach K. Grabowski, and follow all we're doing at coachandcoordinator.com.